an indomitable woman of substance. She is the Associate Director of the Olympic opening ceremony 2012 and producer of hit household sitcom Desmond's, writer, actor and darling of the nation, Paulette Randallb. It's an honour to have you here with us today.
It's my pleasure.
And how are you?
I'm very well, a bit cold, but I'm good.
Good stuff. Okay, so we're going to get on with some questions. And the first one is, how did you approach the Olympic opening ceremony knowing that 4 billion people were going to watch it? Were you a bag of nerves?
No, because I've never done anything that big before, and I'm not very good with numbers, so I can't even comprehend 4 billion. The stadium held 80,000, and that was enough, so I could understand that, because I could walk around the stadium and go, oh, there's 80,000 seats. Yeah. But no, 4 billion, didn't even think about it. There's no point. You'd go mad, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would indeed. Okay, as reported by, dare I say, the Conservative press, were you the reason why the opening ceremony was a celebration of multicultural Britain?
No, I think it was always going to be there, but probably not in the guise that it eventually became. I think because of the sensibilities of the people involved in it, i.e. Danny Boyle, Suturat Lelam and Mark Tilsley, they would have had an element of it, but it would have been their take on it and not necessarily the same flavour as if I hadn't been in the room.
So you're not going to take any credit, but you are a little bit.
I think you're right. Well, do you know what? I think it's that thing about if we're not there, then your presence is not felt, and then people are not, you know, and it was one of those things that we talked about, the things that were important to us in the last, I don't know, 400 years of this country, say, for example. And that was one of the things that for me was crucial. And in a way, you kind of go, if we're going to do something about London, which is where the games were awarded, and so we're going to welcome people to London, then you kind of go, it started off like this in a green and pleasant land, but London is now this. Part of that journey was absolutely, so you had to have it there, otherwise you're missing an integral part of history.
I mean, personally, I quite enjoyed Windrush. I don't want to be biased or anything, but
right.
I really enjoyed watching it, and for me, it was almost refreshing.
As I said, I just think it's really important, and it's not just about, you know, black history, it's British history. A friend of mine was doing a job in America, and he was watching on telly with a bunch of Americans in Chicago, and when the Windrush appeared on screen, he cried. And he said, finally, we're being accepted legitimately as part of that history. And I can really feel proud about that. And that, you know, that you can't buy that. That's
okay, and what were some of the challenges you faced as a woman in producing the now legendary Desmond's?
He's balding! Oh my goodness! The crowd is gone for 7, and Gregor's gone for 12, and England done for boy!
I think any challenge that you face as a woman, it doesn't matter if you're doing a TV programme or if you're running a business or if you're a shop or whatever, there are some men that find it difficult to know that a woman's in charge, as it were. And it's not a power trip, it's just that I happen to have the skills and the expertise to do it. I'm not ever putting pressure on people to act differently towards me because I'm a woman. It's them. Yeah. It's the same as racism. It's not me. I'm not being racist to me. Somebody's being racist to me. Yeah. So it's their issue. It's not mine. It's the same as sexism.
Amazing. Okay. After graduating from drama school in 1982, you set up a.
Yes, 1982. Yes.
You set up a theatre company called Theatre of Black Women. Would you say that the conditions which led you to set it up is still relevant now in 2012?
Oh no, it's changed. Because, you know, we really felt, and the three of us, Patricia Blair and Bernardine Haristo, and we just felt that there was nothing out there for us if we were applying for jobs. And I know people still say today that, you know, it's either a nurse or a prostitute or something, but it has changed a bit. There are, you know, you look at Law and Order, for example, and there's a young barrister there who's a young black woman. You think, ah, great. Yeah. So there are changes. Yeah. It's still very slow, sadly, but it is changing, yeah.
Have been attributed with saying that you're a sucker for men's sob stories.
I'm a sucker for men's sob stories? Who told you that? I'm a sucker for any sob story. It doesn't have to be a man, anybody.
Well, what was the question was, what's one of the soppiest stories by a man that you've ever heard?
Oh, I don't know. It's usually that nonsense. I can't even think of one. What's a soppy story? Oh, men are so ridiculous sometimes. I love them, but sometimes they're just so.
Not as
oh, please. You know when you get guys that say to you, you know, it's I quite like you, and you go, well, I quite like you. Are you single? No, but my wife doesn't understand me, or my girlfriend doesn't understand me. You go, well, maybe try and speak the same language as your girlfriend and leave me alone. You know, it's that kind of. I don't even know if that's a sob story. That's just sad.
That's just sad. That's good enough. That's a good enough one. Paulette, I'm really curious to find out, what is it that triggers your creativity?
I think I have to go back to the beginning. Earlier on, you described me as an actor and a writer and a director and producer. I don't act anymore, thank goodness, because I wasn't the best. And I think it's good to know where your talents lie. I mean, I loved performing because I'm a show-off, but I wasn't terribly good. Okay. I saw there were other people there that were so much better than me, and that's great, and that's a good thing to know. So I guess my creativity came from a natural energy that I have just to do things, but also really came from my family. They're like most of us, I think. If you have a Caribbean or African background, storytelling is an integral part of your culture. And I grew up with the funniest, the saddest, the most powerful, angry, passionate people ever. And if you were on a Sunday or a Saturday night even, surrounded by, it only took one auntie, that could go on all night. And the stories were just incredible, but they also told them in the most amazing ways. So I always say to people now, my creativity came from my family, from my heritage, and it's still the source of why I do what I do. I'm a storyteller.
And final question, when you're not hard at it, how do you like to relax?
I like reading. I like, my absolute favourite is sitting around a table with friends and family and sharing a meal. That's my absolute favourite. But yeah, reading. I like going to exhibitions. I still love going to the theatre. Good. So I go on my own. It's great.
Do you ever get recognised anywhere if you're in the theatre?
I'm not really that famous. It's so funny when people say you're famous, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I can walk down the street and nobody. Where I live, everybody knows me because I'm always hanging out, having coffee and stuff like that. So I know my neighbourhood, but I don't consider myself famous at all.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We're closing here at cocogirl.com. I am honoured to be meeting you.
Thank you so much
for having a chat with us today. Paulette Randallb, everybody. Thank you.